Welcome back, fellas. Welcome to Lesson 2, Part 2, Composing Emails. Now, similar to the first part, if you guys need to pause the video for any reason, go ahead and do so. And then when you're ready, let's go ahead and dive right back in. Now, if I wanted to create a new email, I would simply hit the Compose button. Now, in the previous lesson, we learned that the Compose button allows us to create a new conversation. So when I actually press that button, in the bottom right hand corner will appear a box that says New Message. Now, in the New Message box, there's different words and phrases that I may not be familiar with. So we're going to explore the different features of the New Message box, which should go where, to make sure you guys are set up to compose an email correctly. Now here's a suggestion. Always try to compose an email without a recipient's email address. And we do this for a couple of reasons. But the main reason is so that you guys do not accidentally send these emails. So we're not going to start where it says to. We're going to actually start where it says subject. Now the subject summarizes the message in the body of the email. What is the email about? That is your subject. Now that could either be a word, a phrase, a couple of words, anything that summarizes what you are trying to say in your email. Now, once I actually finish typing in my subject, I'm going to take my mouse and left click underneath the subject. Now, when I do that, I should then see a blinking line located underneath the subject. That's called my cursor. Now, that line is important because when I see that blinking line, that shows me where I'm about to type. So if that black blinking line is not underneath the subject, then I'm not in the area where I want to type my message. So it's important that you take your mouse, left click underneath the subject so that we can start composing our emails. Now, let's just say I have typed my subject, I've actually composed my email, and I feel like I'm ready to send it. Don't send it yet, all right? There's one step that we tend to forget, and that's proofreading. Proofread your emails. We want to try and limit the mistakes that may occur when it comes to composing an email. Now, when I'm writing my message, this is where a lot of the mistakes can occur. So we want to make sure that we take our time, that we proofread, and that we correct any errors in our message. Now, on the screen, you will see that there's a red squiggly line. What does that mean? Well, that red squiggly line means that word is misspelled. There's an error. And so instead of deleting the letters and trying to figure out how to correctly spell this word, let me save you some time. Now, in previous lessons, we learned about the left and the right click. Now, the left click allows us to select, allows us to drag, allows us to open, while the right click gives us a contextual menu every time. Now, how does that help me? Well, if you take your mouse and you right click on the misspelled word, it will give me a contextual menu, a menu of options on how to spell this word correctly. Now, once I right click on that word, Google will produce a list of words on what they think I'm trying to say. Now, I look at that list and I say, you know what? This is the word that I'm trying to say. So what I would do is I would select by left clicking on that word, and what Google does, it replaces it with the misspelled word. Only takes a couple of seconds. This is when knowing your mouse and its features will definitely save you time when it comes to sending emails. Now, let's just say I have my subject, I've composed my email, I proofread it, there's no mistakes. It's now time for me to send this email. So I'm going to figure out who I'm sending it to, right? So I'm not going to type the person's name of who I'm sending it to. I need their email address, right? So where it says to or recipient, you're going to make sure you type their email address. Now don't forget the @ symbol. The @ symbol lets us know that this is an email address. So once you type in the person's email address, you want to make sure that it's spelled correctly, because if you don't spell it correctly, then it doesn't go to the correct email. address, right? So I'm going to make sure that it's spelled correctly, that we include our @ symbol, and then we are ready to send this email, right? So once we have the recipient, the person I'm sending it to, once we have the subject, once we have composed the email, we proofread the email, it's time to send it. So in the bottom left-hand corner, there should be a blue button that says send, and then you would send the email to the person whose email address you put at the top. So how was that, fellas? We made it. Part 2 is over. It's time for you to go back into Google Classroom, go to classwork, and it's time for you guys to actually create an email. Good luck. I know you guys will do well.